Hello students, I am back with another session of English today, and of course in our previous sessions we were learning about pronouns. Okay, right. In our last session we were unable to do our vocab part due to the bit of the time management. So in this session I am first going to start with vocabulary, that is idioms and phrases for today's class, and after that, we are moving further with the pronouns, right? Okay, so let us start today with idioms and phrases. So the first idiom is keep one at a bay. Let me choose the pen. Keep one at a bay. If I'm saying to keep someone at a bay, that means to keep someone at a distance. The kid is very problematic. I'm doing my best to keep him at bay. So there is a kid who is very naughty, very problematic. So I'm doing my best to keep him at a distance. So he or she do not do anything, create any mess, right? In the nick of time, the second idiom is in the nick of time. It means just at the last moment, at the very last moment of something. They got to the hospital in the nick of time, just as the baby was about to born. It means during pregnancy, someone went to the hospital at the last moment, and as soon they reached the hospital, the baby was born. Leave no stone unturned. Third idiom is leave no stone unturned. It means to use all available means. To use all available means to try each and every possible effort. The researcher left no stone unturned in her search for the ancient manuscript. So it means someone was researching, someone was finding in ancient manuscript. So she used all available means. She tried all the possible efforts in the search of the ancient manuscript, which means she left no stone unturned. Next is on tenterhooks. Tenterhooks means in the state of anxiety, confusion, suspense. If I say uh, my result was about to come and I was totally on tenterhooks, which means I was in the state of suspense and anxiety. We were kept on tenterhooks for hours while the judges chose the winner. So when the judges were deciding about who the winner is going to be, during that time we were kept on tenterhooks. We were very suspensed and we had an anxiety. To bell the cat. The fifth idiom for today's class is to bell the cat, which means to face the risk. No one was quite ready to bell the cat. No one was quite ready to face the risk. Bring to light. I never wanted to be a whistleblower, but bring to light. If I'm saying I'm bringing something to light, it means I'm disclosing that particular thing. If I am saying I'm bringing something to light, it means I'm disclosing that particular thing. I never, uh, if I say what I brought his deeds to light, it means I told what he's actually doing. I never wanted to be a whistleblower, but I'm the only one who can bring these documents to light. I never wanted to create. It means I never wanted to start something, or I never wanted to create a mess, but I'm the only one who can bring these documents to light. It means I'm the only one who can bring these documents to light. Feeling a bit. Next is feeling a bit. Who can disclose these documents? Feeling a bit under the weather. Feeling slightly ill. If instead of saying that I'm ill today, if I'll say feeling bit under the weather. Today I'm feeling a bit under the weather, which means that I am ill today. She has just returned from her vacations, but is feeling under the weather and has a sore throat and running nose. She has recently returned from the vacations, but is feeling under the weather and has a sore throat and running nose. And she is ill due to the soreness in throat and running nose. Break the ice. See, if there are two people who are sitting near to each other, but they are not talking to each other, so which means nobody has broken the ice till yet. It means nobody has started or initiated the conversation, right? So he had to break the ice before she would really engage in a conversation. Before I am going to engage in a conversation with someone, he has to break the ice. He has to initiate the conversation first. A litmus test, a method that helps to know if something is correct. If you people remember this thing, then in ninth or 10th standards in school, we used to do litmus test in chemistry lab. What we used to do, there is a paper known as litmus paper. It turns to different colors depending that whether the solution in which you have dipped it is acidic or non-acidic. If it is acidic, the color of the litmus paper will turn to some different color after dipping it. If it is non-acidic, the color of litmus paper will turn to some another color after dipping it. So, right. So this litmus test helped us in our school to know whether the solution is acidic and or non-acidic. And the same method is here, a method that helps to know if something is correct. The success of wind power represents a litmus test for renewable energy. The success of wind power represents a litmus test for renewable energy. A house of cards. When you make a house with the cards, from the cards which we play, it is very fragile. Just by blowing air from the mouth, it can, fall. So a poor plan. Their entire relationship fell down like house of cards, like this. Right? Okay. Let us have a quick revision of all these idioms. Keep one at a to keep someone at a distance, to not get involved with someone very much in the nick of time at the very last moment. I thankfully got admission in the nick of time. I thankfully got admission at the last moment. Leave no stone unturned. Use all available means to in order to get a window seat on the plane. I left no stone unturned. I used all the possible efforts. On tenterhooks, in a state of suspense and an anxiety, to bell the cat, to face the risk, bring to light, disclose, to disclose something, feeling a bit under the weather, feeling slightly ill. In winters, I ate ice cream on a freezing day, and suddenly after that, I felt a bit under the weather. Break the ice. We were competitors from a long time, but still, I found a better option of breaking the ice. A litmus test to initiate break the ice means to initiate a social conversation of interaction. A litmus test, a method that help us to know if something is correct, right? A house of cards. A house of cards means a poor plan. The entire relationship fell down like a house of cards. So these were the idioms. These were the idioms for today's class, right? And here comes, nothing comes. And here comes the favorite part of my class, and we need to find errors on based in the sentence, in the given sentence, right? Now, these error detection are based on the things, are based on the rules which we have already learned in our previous sessions. We have covered all the important rules related to pronouns. So these are the errors which we need to find out on the basis of pronoun. Let us first read all the sentences, right? He was amused when he came to know of him singing in the competition. Okay. One should follow his timetable in order to achieve success as early as possible. It was me who won the football competition for our college for the first time in the history of college. The cover of this book is beautiful than that book which is lying on the cupboard. Both of them being first year student are not going to the college fresher party. He is one of the boys who has won the hockey championship. Dress designing houses are reducing its cost to attract more customers. I and Sonia will go for movie in the evening. It is very difficult to decide who is the more beautiful of the two sisters. A good friend of me has been working in Google since 2008. In total, there are 10 sentences in front of your screen, and we just need to find out the errors in them. See, what is the process of finding the error? You people are getting started with it. You have learned pronoun for the first time, and then whatever you have read, on the basis of that, I'm presenting certain errors, certain sentences in which an error is there, right? So what is the correct, procedure to find errors? The correct procedure is revise the whole chapter in one go, right? Open your sheet of errors. First, read all the sentences in one go. Then, consider each and every sentence individually. Read the sentence, try to understand it, try to figure out what is wrong, and then try to correlate the rules to the errors which you think is there in the sentence. You just need to correlate the rules with the errors given in the sentence. You just need to apply those rules on the sentence. He was amused when he came to know of him singing in the competition. Okay, see. There are two words. One is possessive noun. One is possessive pronoun and the other is possessive adjective, right? There is possessive pronouns are him, me, him, her, your. I've made a certain mistake, a slight mistake. One is possessive pronoun, another one is possessive adjective. Possessive pronouns are the words like mine, ours, yours, his, hers, theirs. And if I talk about possessive adjective is mine, our, your, his, her, their. So on the left hand of your side, on the left hand side, all the possessive pronouns are there. And on the right hand of side, all the possessive adjectives are there. You need to remember one thing whenever V1 plus ing is present in a sentence. What I'm saying if V1 plus ing is present in a sentence, then in that case, always and always use possessive adjective. And you can never use possessive pronouns in such sentences, V1 plus ing, with the V1 plus ing, possessive pronouns cannot be used. Instead, we use possessive adjective, right? He was amused when he came to know of him. Him is objective case of pronoun, right? Which is wrong. And singing. Singing is what? V1 plus ing. So he was amused when he came to know of his singing in the competition. One should follow his timetable in order to achieve success as early as possible. I already told you if the subject given of the sentence, if the given subject in the sentence is one, then in that case, ones should be the plural case, possessive case. Ones is the plural, and oneself is the reflexive and emphatic case of such noun words. One should follow one's timetable in order to achieve success as early as possible. It was me who won the football competition for our college for the first time in history of the college. Okay. I have already told you that if your sentence starts with it, right? And if it is being followed by any of the forms of be. Now the forms of be are is, am, are, was, were, been, be. If your sentence starts with it and if it is followed by be, then in that case, always use subjective case after it. Then in that case, always use subjective case after it. It was is the form of be. It was I who won the football competition for our college for the first time in history of the college. The cover of this book is beautiful than that book which is lying on the cupboard. Okay. So this thing I told you in pronoun only. I haven't discussed anything related to the adjective. Just one thing I discussed in pronoun only related to adjective. When we were learning relative pronoun, at that time, when we were when we were learning about the places where we are going to use that relative pronoun, we learned there that an adjective comes in three types of degrees. One is positive degree, the second is comparative degree, and the third is superlative degree. Positive degree is used when we use positive degree is used when there is no comparison. Comparative degree is used when we are comparing one thing with one another thing, when there is a comparison of one versus one. Superlative degree is used when there is a comparison of one versus many, right? So now in this case, the cover of this book is beautiful than that book. You are comparing covers, the cover of this book. Now comparative degree should come here. The cover of this book is more beautiful than of that book which is lying on the cover. Both of them being first year student are not going to the college fresher party. I already told you in our last session, maybe most probably in our last session, that with the word both, we can never use not. Both cannot come in a negative sentence. That's why what we are going to write it. Neither of them, being first year students, being first year student, are going to the college fresher party. He is one of the boys who has won the hockey championship. A relative pronoun is there. Relative pronoun who is there in the sentence. And we all know that in case of relative pronoun, we always take verb according to the antecedents. We always take verb according to the antecedents. Now, antecedent of who is boys, and boys is plural. So, plural verb should be there. He is one of the boys who have won the hockey championship. Dress designing houses are reducing its cost to attract more customers. Now, dress designing houses are plural, right? So, it is not singular that are reducing its cost. We are not talking about a single dress designing house. We are talking about many dress designing houses. Plural word is there. So, the correct is dress designing houses are reducing their cost to attract more customers. Okay. I and Sonia will go for movie in the evening. Okay. This is the rule which we learned in the first session of pronoun. I told you if all the three persons, first person, second person, and third person, if all the three persons are present in a single sentence, then in that case, what happens is the order of writing such persons, if something positive is discussed in the particular sentence, the order is third person, second person, and then first person. This order should be preferred. So in this case, not I and Sonia, the correct is Sonia and I will go for movie in the evening. It is very difficult to decide who is the more beautiful of the two sisters when we were learning about relative pronoun. I told you people very clearly. Then when we need to make selection between the human beings, when we are going to make selection between the human beings, then in that case, which relative pronoun is used? It is very difficult to decide which is the more beautiful of the two sisters. Instead of who, you people are going to write which. A good friend of me has been working in Google since 2008. Wrong. A good friend of mine has been working in Google since 2008. So these are the all. Again, error detection based on the pronoun. 6 sentences are there. Each boy was given a geometry box and he was happy. Being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. They who work hard will get the reward. She bathed herself in the river. The audience are requested to occupy its seats without making noise. She is the kind of woman whom everybody knows is clever and talkative. So there are 6 sentences given. And again, we need to find out the error. Read these sentences and try to find the errors first on your own. Each boy was given a geometry box and they were happy. Being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. Okay. For this, we need to use the previous slide. We need to have more space. Being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. Before coming to this sentence, let me write another sentence. Okay, while sending on the letter, I plugged another. I picked. Okay, it should be plugged here. I'm not correcting it here because it would be more messed up. While sending, being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. While standing on the letter, I plugged another plug. Let us first consider the second sentence, which I have written on your screen. In the second sentence, there are two actions involved. In the second sentence, there are two actions involved. One is standing on the letter, and the second is plugged another flower. Now, both the actions have same subject. Who is standing on the ladder? I am standing on the ladder. Who is plugged another flower? I have plugged another flower. So when there are two actions in a single sentence and both the actions are being done by a single subject, then in that case, you need not to write the subject twice. You just need to write the subject between the middle of the actions, and that particular sentence will qualify the first section, and that particular sentence as well will qualify the second action. Are you getting my point? If there are two actions in a sentence and if the both the actions have the same subject, then in that case you need to write the subject only once. That's true in middle of both the actions. While standing on the ladder, who was standing on the ladder? I. Plugged another flower. Who plugged another flower? I. Even written it twice. We just we've just written it once. Okay, I got this point very well. Now, being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. So if I consider the first sentence again, there are two actions involved in the given sentence. One is what? Rainy day. Another is what? Could not go to the market. Do you think then both the actions can have a single subject? Can be a rainy day? Do you think that I can be a rainy day? No, I cannot be a rainy day. Which means that the first action does not have any subject in the given sentence, and this subject is not suiting it to the sentence. So the correct sentence is it being a rainy day. Now it is the sentence here. It being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. It being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. They who work hard will get the reward. Okay. So in this third sentence, who is present and who is what? Relative pronoun. Just remember one thing, that in terms of pronoun, antecedent of who can only be antecedent of who in plural terms can be those. They can never be the antecedent of who. So the correct is those who work hard. Those who work hard will get the reward. She bathed herself in the river. Wait. We have already learned this rule in reflexive pronoun that with certain words we can never use reflexive pronoun, and bathe is one of them. She bathed in the river. Herself should be removed from here. The audience are requested to occupy its seats without making noise. The audience is not one, there are many audience, right? So the audience are requested to occupy their seats. She is the kind of woman whom everybody knows is clever and talkative. Now let us consider the sentence very carefully. She is the kind of woman whom everybody knows is clever and talkative. Now she is the subject one here, is verb one. The kind of object, the kind of women is the object here, whom. See, everybody is the subject here. Let's call it subject two. Knows is the verb. Call it verb two. Is the verb three. Always remember, if helping verb is followed by main verb, then in that case this is one. It would be considered as a single verb. But if a main verb is followed by helping verb, then in that case this is V1 and this is V2. There are two different words. This verbs, the same is happening here. Knows is main verb and is main helping verb here for an instance. So verb 3. So you need to remember that when the number of subjects are equal to number of verbs, then in that case you should add whom to such sentences, and object should be added to such sentences. But when there is an equality between the number of subject and the number of verbs, then in that case a subject should be added to such sentences. She is the kind of woman who everybody knows is clever and talkative. If somebody is confused about clever and talkative, then clever and talkative are adjectives. So she is each boy was given a geometry box and he was happy. Being a rainy day, I could not go to the market. Those who work hard will get the reward. She bathed in the river. The audience are requested to occupy their seats without making noise. She is the kind of woman who everybody knows is clear and talkative. Okay, another 12 sentences are there. One of the terrorists. Okay. First, let us, I think, read all the sentences. Then we are going to correct them. One of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley are shot dead. It is me who is to blame for this bad situation. Knowledge of at least 2 languages are required to pass the examination. The secretary and the principal of the college are attending the district development council meeting at the collectorate. There is only one of his novels that are interesting. All doubts are cleared between you and I. Either of the roads lead to the park. I went to the temple with my parents, my aunts, and my cousin sisters. One of my desires are to become a doctor. Each of the students in the computer class has to type their own research paper this semester. Do you know that it was I who has done this piece of beautiful work? Neither of them is good. Okay. One of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley are shot dead. This question is from distributive pronoun. We read about distributive pronouns that after distributive pronouns, the first noun and pronoun is always used in plural form, right? And after that particular noun or pronoun, whether a verb comes or another pronoun comes or another adjective comes, each and everything should be in singular form. One of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley, terrorist is the first noun or pronoun. One of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley is shot dead. It is me who is to blame for this bad situation. The sentence is getting started with it. It is being followed by the form of be, is, and was, were, being. And after that, a subjective case should be there. It is I who is to be blamed for this bad situation. Knowledge of at least two languages are required to pass the examination. The main subject in the sentence is knowledge and not two languages. Subject is singular, your verb should always be singular. Knowledge of at least two languages is required to pass the examination. The secretary and the principal of the college are attending the district development council meeting at the collectorate. Okay, so there are two subjects given in the sentence. One is the secretary and one is the principal. If we are using article before both the subjects, then in that case they are two different persons. In that case, we need to use plural verb with them. The secretary and the principal of the college are attending the district development council meeting of the collectorate. This given sentence is correct. Okay. There is only one of his novels that are interesting. Okay, okay, okay. Let us move. See, I'm writing two sentences. He is one of the boys who have passed the exam with flying colors. One sentence is this. She is, or instead we can write he is the only one of the boys who have passed the exam again with flying colors. So there are total two sentences on your screen. One is he is one of the boys who have passed the exam with flying colors. Another one is he is the only one of the boys who have passed the exams with flying colors. Do you think is there any difference between the two sentences? Yes, there is a difference, right? We have learned in our previous sessions that in case of relative pronoun always consider verb according to the antecedent. Here antecedent is plural of relative pronoun. That's why we have taken plural verb. The sentence is totally correct. Now, what is the difference? He is the only one of the boys who have passed the examination. Now, if I say he is one of the boys who have passed the examination with flying colors, it means there are other boys as well who have. He is not the only one. He is one of them who have passed the exam with flying colors. But if I say he is the only one of the boys, which means he is the single person who has passed the exam with flying colors. Now, you need to remember that normally relative pronouns consider verb according to the antecedents. What I am saying, normally relative pronouns consider verb according to the antecedent, but when the only is mentioned with the antecedent, then in that case, this rule will get void, this rule will get null, and we need to use a singular verb with relative pronouns. And we need to use a singular verb with relative pronouns. He is the only one of the boys who has passed the exam with flying colors. He is one of the boys who have passed the exam with flying colors. He is the only one of the boys who has passed the exam with flying colors. So this is the basic difference. There is only one of his novels that are interesting. Now, only is there. There's the only one of his novels. So, that is interesting. All doubts are cleared between you and. After preposition, we always take objective case. All doubts are cleared between you and me. Either of the roads lead to park. I'm not saying both the roads lead to park. I'm saying either of the roads, either this or this road lead to the park. I'm talking about one. So either of the roads leads to the park. I went to the temple with my parents, my aunts, and my cousins, sisters. So basically, the sentence number 8 is not a problem related to pronoun, but it is a problem related to noun. And most probably, I have told you in noun as well that cousin is not a gender cleared word. We cannot say cousin sister or we can't say cousin brother. We can only say cousin. I went to the temple with my parents, my aunts, and my cousin. One of my desires are to become a doctor. One of my desires. First noun pronoun given as plural form, then everything should be in singular. One of my desire is to become a doctor. Each of the students in the computer class has to type their own research paper this semester. Each of the students, plural, in the computer class has, singular, to type their, has to type his. Each of the students in the computer class has to type his own research paper this semester. Do you know that it was I who has done this piece of beautiful work? Again, relative pronoun is there in the sentence, only is not present in the sentence. The antecedent of relative pronoun is I, and for I, instead of has, have is used. Do you know that it was I who have done this piece of beautiful work? Neither of them is good. Both are correct. This is correct. The last sentence is correct. Neither of them is good. Okay, previous year questions again of pronouns. There are 12 questions on your screen. Let us first read the sentences. Neither my sister nor my brother is interested in moving to another house. He is one of the tallest boy in the class. The principal and staff are waiting for the chief guest. The poor man poisoned him and his own children. John, I, and Hari have finished our studies. Neither the mouse nor the lion were caught. Neither of these Neither of these two documents support your claim on the property. It was him who came running into the class. May I know to who I am speaking? Each of these boys play games in the playground. Either Sohan or his friends is to be blamed for this mischief. The artist and writer has died. Either an officer or an assistant are required. Neither my sister nor my brothers is interested in moving to another house. Then there are two subjects connected to the conjunctions. Then, according to the second subject, we always take the verb. Neither my sister nor my brothers are interested in moving to another house. He is one of the tallest boy in the class. He is one of the tallest boys. The first noun or pronoun after it should be plural. The principal and staff are waiting for the chief guest. Principal and staff can never be the same person. So the correct thing is the principal and the staff. The poor man poisoned him and his own children. Correct. John, I, and Hari have finished our studies. Again, this is the same problem from the order of the persons. If there are three persons in a single sentence, first person, second person, and third person, and if we are talking about something positive, then in that case, we need to use the order second person, third person, and first person. So the correct sentence should be John, Hari, and I. Neither the mouse nor the lion were caught. According to the second subject, in terms of conjunction, neither the mouse nor the lion was caught. Neither of these documents support your claim on the property. Neither of. First noun and pronoun is plural. Two documents supports. The verb should be always singular. It was him who came running into the class. Sentence is getting started with it. It is being followed by a form of be. Subjective case should be there. It was he who came running into the class. May I know to who I am speaking? May is verb 1. I is the subject 1. I is the subject 2. M is the verb 2. When there is an equality between the number of subject and the number of verbs given in a sentence, then in that case, an object can be added. May I know to whom I am speaking? Each of these boys play games in the playground. These boys, first noun, pronoun, plural, plays games. Either Sohan or his friends, right? So either Sohan, second subject, plural, either Sohan or his friends are to be blamed for this mystery. The artist and writer has right correct. If there are two subjects, if an article is used only with the first subject, that means both the subjects are a single person, and in that case we need to use a singular verb with that. The artist and writer, which means a single person was artist and the same single person was the writer. Either an officer or an assistant is required. Previous year questions of pronoun. Okay, let's have a look at these questions. He is better than me. I and him are very good friends. One of my friend is returning to India from the US. I and he have prepared the lesson thoroughly. Neither of the two candidates have paid his subscription. My uncle forced my friend and I to stay back. This stamp is only one of the design ever printed. One of the most dangerous disease is AIDS. I insisted on his going there immediately. Neither of the teams are sensible enough to do this task. Each of these boys play games. I and Tina will go to the market in the evening. The police is investigating for the recent happening in the area. Okay. So in total, there are 50 questions remaining. 25 questions are there. Okay, he is better than me. He is better than I. I told you in the starting, in the first session of pronoun, when I told you about the subjective case and um, objective case of pronoun, that a subject is always compared to a subject and an object is always compared to an object. So he is subject. He is better than I. I and him are very good friends. He and I are very good friends. One of my friend is returning. The first noun or pronoun should come in plural form. One of my friends is returning to India from the USA. I and he have prepared the lesson thoroughly. He and I. Neither of the two candidates has paid the subscription. Neither of the plural should be there and singular should be there. So today only we are doing till 30. And in our next class, we are going to start here from 31 only. Till then, revise your chapter, revise the rules, and then we are going to apply them on these sentences. Till then, bye-bye.